You get a raise, and within weeks, your life looks more expensive. A better apartment, a newer phone, more dinners out, maybe even a car upgrade. On the outside, it looks like progress. It feels like you're finally moving up. But here's the uncomfortable question no one asks. If your income keeps increasing, why doesn't your wealth grow at the same speed? Why do so many people earn more every year, yet still feel financially stuck? Why does the pressure never go away? The truth is, most people don't have an income problem. They have a lifestyle problem. Every time money increases, expenses quietly rise to meet it. And the dangerous part is that it feels completely justified. You tell yourself, I worked hard for this. I deserve better. This is what success looks like. But what if upgrading your lifestyle too quickly is the very thing keeping you from real financial freedom? What if the real trap isn't low income, but unconscious upgrading? We live in a world where success is measured by what can be seen. The house, the car, the clothes, the vacations. The moment you start earning more, there's an invisible expectation to look like you're earning more. Social media amplifies it. Friends normalize it. Society celebrates it. But almost no one talks about the hidden cost. There is a massive difference between upgrading your life and upgrading your wealth. Upgrading your life usually means increasing consumption, better things, better experiences, higher monthly expenses. Upgrading your wealth means increasing ownership, assets that pay you, investments that grow, systems that generate income even when you're not working. And here's where most people get stuck. Income goes up, lifestyle goes up, but assets stay the same. The paycheck grows, but the freedom doesn't. In this video, we're going to break down the psychology behind lifestyle inflation, why your brain pushes you to spend the moment you earn more, and how this silent pattern delays financial independence by years, sometimes decades. More importantly, we'll talk about how wealthy people upgrade differently. Because the truth is, real wealth isn't built by looking successful. It's built by owning things that produce income. By the end of this video, you'll see your raises, bonuses, and new opportunities in a completely different way. And you'll be able to answer one powerful question honestly. Are you upgrading your life or upgrading your wealth? Lifestyle inflation is one of the most dangerous financial habits because it doesn't feel dangerous at all. It feels natural. You earn more, so you spend more. At first, the changes seem small. A slightly better apartment, a more comfortable car, premium subscriptions instead of basic ones, eating out more often because you can afford it now. None of these decisions look reckless individually. In fact, they feel like rewards, but when combined, they quietly reshape your entire financial structure. Here's how the trap works. When your income increases, your brain immediately recalculates what is normal. What used to feel expensive now feels reasonable. What once felt like a luxury now feels like a standard. And before you realize it, your fixed monthly expenses have expanded to match your new income level. The raise that should have created breathing room disappears into upgraded rent, upgraded insurance, upgraded lifestyle habits. The real problem isn't spending. It's automatic spending. When every raise leads to a higher cost of living, your savings rate stays the same. And if your savings rate stays the same, your wealth growth stays slow. You're running faster, but you're not getting ahead. This is why so many professionals feel trapped despite earning good money. On paper, they make more than ever, but they also owe more than ever. Bigger mortgage, bigger car payment, bigger expectations. And once your lifestyle expands, it becomes psychologically painful to shrink it. That's the silent pressure. You don't just upgrade your life, you upgrade your obligations. Social comparison makes it worse. When people around you upgrade, you feel behind if you don't. Success becomes visible consumption. A promotion feels incomplete without a visible reward, and so lifestyle inflation becomes socially reinforced behavior. The most dangerous part, it delays financial freedom without you noticing. Imagine if every raise over 10 years had gone mostly into investments instead of expenses. The compounding difference would be massive, but because the spending feels justified and gradual, the cost is invisible. Lifestyle inflation doesn't destroy wealth overnight. It slowly postpones it. It convinces you that you are progressing, while quietly locking you into a higher financial baseline that demands continuous income just to maintain. The trap is simple. The more your lifestyle depends on your active income, the less freedom you actually have. And unless you consciously control the gap between income and expenses, that gap will close itself automatically. Modern society has redefined success in a very visual way. Success is what people can see: the car you drive, the house you live in, the brand of phone in your hand, the vacation photos you post. These symbols create the illusion of wealth, even when they are financed by debt. This illusion is powerful because it offers immediate validation. When you upgrade visibly, people notice. They compliment you. They assume you're doing well. That external recognition feels rewarding. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Visible upgrades often say more about spending than about wealth. True wealth is mostly invisible. It doesn't always show up in flashy purchases. It shows up in assets, ownership, equity, and cash flow. Someone with multiple investments and low expenses might look ordinary. Someone with heavy debt and high expenses might look successful. The outside appearance rarely tells the full story. The middle class often falls into a dangerous cycle. They earn more, spend more to match their perceived status, and maintain an image of financial growth. But behind that image, their net worth may barely move. The paycheck increases, but so do the liabilities. There's also a psychological comfort in looking successful. It reduces insecurity. It creates a sense of identity. If you drive a luxury car, you feel accomplished. If you move into a high-end apartment, you feel elevated. But identity built on consumption requires constant maintenance. You must keep earning at that level or higher to sustain it. The wealthy, on the other hand, often prioritize ownership over appearance. They focus on assets that generate income rather than items that consume income. They understand that real financial security comes from control over cash flow, not from social admiration. The illusion of success is expensive because it encourages short-term signaling over long-term stability. It tells you that what others see matters more than what you own. It convinces you that lifestyle upgrades equal progress, even when your balance sheet says otherwise. The difference between appearing rich and being wealthy lies in what you choose to prioritize. One focuses on status. The other focuses on sustainability. One requires constant income to maintain. The other builds systems that generate income independently. When you chase visible success without building invisible assets, you create a fragile financial life. It looks impressive, but it depends entirely on your ability to keep earning. And the moment income stops or slows, the illusion collapses. Wealth creation follows a simple but powerful formula. Income minus expenses equals savings. Savings invested consistently become assets. Assets generate cash flow. Cash flow creates freedom. It sounds basic, but small shifts in this formula dramatically change long-term outcomes. If your income increases but your expenses increase at the same rate, your savings remain flat. If your savings remain flat, your investments remain small. And if investments remain small, compounding has very little to work with. The result is slow wealth growth, even with higher income. The real driver of wealth is not income alone. It is the gap between income and expenses. That gap represents your capacity to build assets. The wider the gap, the faster you can accumulate investments. The narrower the gap, the slower your progress. Every spending decision affects this gap. When you upgrade to a higher rent, that monthly difference is not just a cost, it's lost investment potential. Over years, those missed investments could have compounded significantly. Opportunity cost is invisible, but it's powerful. Compounding rewards patience and consistency. Money invested early grows exponentially over time. But compounding only works if you allow money to remain invested. If raises are absorbed by lifestyle upgrades, the compounding engine stays underfunded. Delayed gratification becomes essential. Choosing not to upgrade immediately after earning more creates financial leverage. Instead of celebrating with higher expenses, you strengthen your asset base. Over time, assets begin to generate their own income. That's when financial momentum accelerates. The wealth gap formula also highlights control. You may not always control income increases, but you have significant influence over expense growth. By intentionally limiting lifestyle expansion, you increase your savings rate without needing dramatic income jumps. Tracking net worth instead of income shifts perspective. Income is a flow. Net worth is a measure of accumulation. When you focus on net worth growth, you naturally prioritize asset building over consumption. Ultimately, wealth is built in the gap, not in the raise itself, but in what you do with it. Not in how much you earn, but in how much you keep and grow. When you understand this formula deeply, lifestyle inflation becomes less tempting because you see the long-term trade-off clearly. Human psychology plays a massive role in financial behavior. When you receive extra income, your brain experiences it as a reward. Rewards trigger dopamine, the neurotransmitter linked to pleasure and motivation. Spending money on something new amplifies that reward, creating a quick emotional boost. This dopamine cycle encourages immediate consumption. Buying something new feels satisfying right away. Investing, on the other hand, offers delayed and less visible gratification. There's no instant excitement when you transfer money into an index fund. The reward is distant and abstract. Social validation adds another layer. Humans are wired for belonging. When others see your upgrades and respond positively, your brain interprets it as social approval. That approval strengthens the behavior. You are not just buying an item, you're reinforcing your identity within a group. Fear of missing out also influences spending. When peers upgrade, you fear being left behind. You compare lifestyles and feel pressure to match. Even if your financial plan says wait, emotional impulses push you toward immediate action. Identity shifts can be subtle but powerful. A higher income can change how you see yourself. You may feel that your external environment should match your new status. Living below your means might feel inconsistent with your upgraded self-image. The challenge is that our brains evolved for short-term survival, not long-term financial planning. Immediate rewards feel more certain than distant ones. That's why discipline often feels uncomfortable at first. It requires overriding natural impulses. Understanding this psychology creates awareness. When you recognize that your desire to upgrade is partly biochemical and social, you can pause before acting. You can separate emotional impulses from strategic decisions. Wealth building requires delayed gratification. It asks you to sacrifice short-term excitement for long-term stability. That trade-off is mentally demanding. But over time, disciplined investing creates a different kind of satisfaction, one based on security and autonomy rather than approval. When you train your brain to value asset growth as progress, lifestyle upgrades lose some of their emotional power. Instead of chasing temporary highs, you begin to appreciate steady financial expansion. That mental shift is critical for escaping the upgrade trap. Wealthy individuals often follow a different upgrade sequence. Instead of upgrading lifestyle first, they upgrade assets. When income increases, they allocate a significant portion toward investments before increasing consumption. This creates a powerful effect. Each raise strengthens their asset base. Assets generate additional income. That additional income can later support lifestyle upgrades without creating financial strain. Lifestyle becomes supported by cash flow rather than dependent on active work. One practical strategy is allocating a fixed percentage of every raise to investments. For example, directing half of any increase toward asset growth ensures that lifestyle inflation remains controlled. This rule automates discipline. Another strategy is implementing a waiting period before upgrading. Delaying lifestyle changes for several months allows emotions to settle and ensures decisions are intentional rather than impulsive. Wealthy thinkers also prioritize upgrading skills and income-producing capabilities. Investing in education, business systems, or tools that increase earning potential often yields higher long-term returns than upgrading consumption. They measure progress differently. Instead of tracking material upgrades, they track asset accumulation and passive income growth. Success is defined by increasing financial independence, not by visible markers. Importantly, they still enjoy life, but enjoyment is funded sustainably. When passive income covers core expenses, Lifestyle upgrades feel secure rather than risky. There's no anxiety about maintaining appearances because assets provide support. This approach reduces stress. If income temporarily decreases, strong asset foundations create resilience. Expenses remain manageable relative to cash flow. Upgrading differently doesn't mean living poorly forever. It means sequencing wisely. Assets first, lifestyle later. By reversing the common pattern, wealth compounds steadily and eventually supports a comfortable life without financial fragility. Escaping the upgrade trap begins with awareness. The first step is auditing your current lifestyle. Identify which expenses genuinely improve your quality of life and which simply maintain an image. This clarity helps distinguish value from impulse. Next, define clear financial priorities. Decide what percentage of income will consistently go towards savings and investments. Automating these transfers ensures that asset building happens before discretionary spending. Tracking net worth monthly shifts focus from consumption to accumulation. Watching assets grow creates motivation similar to buying something new, but with long-term benefits. Separating wants from wealth-building opportunities strengthens decision-making. Before any upgrade, ask whether it increases long-term financial security or simply increases recurring costs. Building multiple income streams accelerates freedom, whether through investments, side businesses, or skill monetization. Diversified income reduces dependence on a single paycheck. Emergency funds add stability. Having reserves prevents temporary setbacks from forcing debt or lifestyle downgrades. Most importantly, redefine success internally. Instead of aiming to look successful, aim to feel secure. Financial freedom is the ability to choose how you spend your time without constant financial pressure. The ultimate goal is not deprivation, it's control. When assets generate sufficient income, lifestyle upgrades become choices rather than obligations. Escaping the trap requires patience. It may feel slow initially, but over time, compounding transforms disciplined decisions into significant wealth. Upgrading your life without upgrading your wealth creates fragility. Upgrading your wealth first creates strength, and strength eventually supports a life that feels not just impressive, but truly free. So here is the real question you need to ask yourself tonight. Are you building a life that looks expensive, or a life that is actually financially strong? Because there is a massive difference. One gives you attention, the other gives you freedom. One depends on constant income, the other creates income for you. And in the long run, only one of them truly matters. Upgrading your lifestyle is easy. It takes a decision and a payment. Upgrading your wealth takes discipline, patience, and long-term thinking. It requires you to delay gratification while everyone else is celebrating visible upgrades. But remember, this real wealth is quiet. It doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need validation. It grows in the background, compounding month after month, year after year. If you take one lesson from this video, let it be this. Every raise, every bonus, every new opportunity is not a signal to spend more, it is a chance to buy back your future freedom. The faster you increase your assets, the faster you reduce financial pressure. And when your investments start covering your expenses, that's when you truly level up. Don't chase the appearance of success. Build the foundation of it. Don't let lifestyle inflation steal years of potential wealth from you. Control the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Protect it, grow it, invest it, because that gap is where freedom lives. If this perspective shifted the way you think about money, then you're exactly where you need to be. On this channel, Money Uncovered, we break down the financial habits, psychological traps, and wealth-building strategies that most people never talk about, so you can make smarter decisions and build real financial power. If you found value in this video, subscribe to Money Uncovered, turn on notifications, and be part of a community that chooses ownership over appearance and freedom over pressure. And before you leave, comment below. Are you upgrading your life or upgrading your wealth? I'll see you in the next video.